The maniacal cultists are quelled for a time, but there can be no celebration. Your progress is measured only in progressive realization and dawning horror.
Oh, aren't
you are in the shadow of the end.
You know, no matter how depressing I am, how depressed I am, all I need to do is listen to the ancestor and he cheers me right up. Yep, I'm back and it's time to return to Darkest Dungeon. Okay. So I already have 2 Vestals and an Occultist in the, 2 Vestals and 2 Occultists who are already champion level who haven't been to the Darkest Dungeon yet. But I don't have a lot of main healers at the lower levels. I do have 2 Occultists and that's all. So let's see. What heroes do I want? I really don't need an Antiquarian. Let's see, I want a Hellion.
Barbaric rage and unrelenting savagery make for a powerful ally.
I want a Jester. And I think I'll get a Flagellant and then the Vestal.
A sister of battle, pious and unrelenting.
Okay, so... Next question is, who has weapons or armor that can be upgraded? Gale does. Change that. Cumin also does. And we're already poor again. Fortunately, that's just about everyone who can be further upgraded. So, let's go on another mission. Let's get the novices some experience. So we have Hellion, Flagellant, Jester, and Vestal. It's actually a pretty viable team composition. And equip all trinkets, sort by class. And the Flagellant is the one who's going to get the portrait. Since he can't equip both of his specific ones, I'm going to give him just the Shard of Glass. Both of his specific trinkets, that is. So the Vestal... Well, I may as well go for Junia's Head and a Worrystone. See, the Jester is the Tyrant's Tasting Cup. There's plus 33% stress skills, but it also increases his stress intake by a lot. I'll go for it anyway, and to balance it out, I'll equip him with a Worrystone also. And the Hellion, much like the Crusader, always gets the same stuff. She gets the Mark of the Outcast and the Lioness Warping. Okay, this is only a short mission, which is not ideal, but I can only send this team on a novice mission, so short or otherwise, we're doing it. 12 food is plenty, but I want plenty of shovels and a lot of torches. Some anti-venom and some bandages. Key or 2, and a holy water or 2. Let's do one more key. Okay, time to train up the fresh meat.
Corruption has soaked the soil, sapping all good life from these groves. Let us burn out this evil.
Okay, this should be relatively straightforward, though I do have to wonder why the freshly recruited people are starting off with 20 stress. Is that just because they're resolve level 0 and this is their first ever mission? Also realizing I really should have actually checked which abilities people had equipped before beginning the mission. Leads to finish off the Brigand Cutthroat. Because I don't know whether or not I have Rain of Sorrows. I do. Rain of Sorrow down on the Fusilier. And Divine Grace is the only ability the Vestal has equipped that she can use from position 4.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Fortunately, this team is going to be gone. This group of enemies is going to be gone pretty soon. Bleeds on the one with more hit points. And we do have to deal with blanket fire again, because of course we have to deal with blanket fire again. Do you expect otherwise? And Punish. And Harvest. And there we go.
The wounds of war can be healed, but never hidden.
And let's just finish off the third stab.
Annihilated.
Back into formation, and let's check the abilities.
Seize this momentum.
Oh, but of course, the
Push on
Vestal...
to the task's end.
Because the Vestal was not an experienced recruit, she doesn't even start off knowing her entire skill set. So I'm just going to have to make do with the skills the Vestal... Same thing with the Flagellant, though he's better set up. But yeah, I'm just going to have to make do with the skills the Flagellant... or the Vestal does know. That's going to be a bit of an extra challenge. It's a good thing this is a short novice mission, otherwise we might actually be in some trouble. I am not interacting with the Shambler. Damn it, we had shovels. Why did you have to grave dig with your bare hands, Roger?
The twisted faces of
Okay, this is going to be a bit of a challenge.
piled high and cloaked in pallor.
Also, so our second battle of the episode is the Collector. Iron Swan. Start wearing the Collector down. Unfortunately, the Hellion does a lot of damage. That Collected Highwayman just will not bleed. He like, it's almost as hard to get him to bleed as it is to get the skeletons to bleed. Alright, another Iron Swan. Big damage Iron Swan. Okay, head gains. That isn't good. Especially since the Collector can use Life Drain. Might as well go for Harvest. I can reach the Collector's Man-at-Arms with Punish and start wearing him down.
The slow death.
Please don't use Life Steal. Please don't use Life Steal. Please don't use... That really isn't much better, honestly. And Noyer's just gonna have to keep healing people because that's all she can do. And just sticking with guarding. So that's a lot less of a problem than it was. Get rid of the Vestal because I don't want anyone healing the Collector. But now, Harvest will actually reach the Collector. Okay. And we'll just punish the Highwayman. There's not really much else the Flagellant to do. And it continues to use Collect Call. Yeah, this team was probably not prepared to encounter a mini-boss on their first time outside the hamlet.
A death by inches.
Okay, the Collector is no longer guarded, and I can reach his Rain of Stars.
Singular strike.
A bit more damage on the Collector is done. Like that! Okay, the Collector is done. Of course, we have to deal with one and possibly two headless. Inspiring tune on whoever has the stress, because we need stress reduction. There we go.
As the ghoulish collection scatters, the rats prepare to feast.
Okay, well, we at least made decent money off of this mission, but I'll admit I was not exactly prepared to fight the Collector with this completely untested team. Though we got away with it with just one person taking significant damage, and otherwise we're fine. Sometimes a tree is just a tree. And sometimes a group of bandits are just a pain in the ass. Alright. Let's go with If It Bleeds on the Fusiliers. Okay, that's one of them done.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
And Punish on the Cutthroats. It's gonna take a couple of hits to get rid of him. Move the Jester back into position. Noyer's just quick heal yourself because you're still carrying around the damage from the collector. Harvest will hit both of the undamaged bandits.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
And let's go for Wicked Hack. Yeah, this group is falling apart fairly quickly. That's good.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
And a little bit of hack.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
It'd be real nice if we didn't have to go... the jester finally doesn't try to touch something he shouldn't. It'd be real nice if we don't have to go to this cul-de-sac room, but we may have to. We haven't encountered a room battle, and knock on wood, here we are. Yeah, I had to say it, now we have our first room battle. Harvest. And Wicked Hack on the other ectoplasm.
Another one falls.
One more hit, and the... I just need to hit the ectoplasm one more time before it has a chance to divide, and then we're good. Light up a torch, heal the flagellant. I'm sure he'd prefer that you not, but you're healing him anyway. And punish the ectoplasm.
Press this advantage.
Okay, no more slime to have to deal with. That's good. Slice off on the one you can reach. And on the good news is there's only one left. The bad news is it's in position 4. And Hal doesn't care at all. And may as well finish her off with Rain of Sorrows.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Chest.
Finding the
Heirloom
stuff
chest
is
had
only the
heirlooms.
first
Who would have
test.
guessed?
Now it must be carried home.
Okay, and I do need to go down this way, unfortunately, even if it turns out to be nothing.
In Radiance,
Well.
may we find victory.
Oh, we got slime. And since there are 2 empty spots right out of the gate, this could potentially be this could turn into a serious problem very quickly.
Executed with impunity.
Actually, probably should use Wicked Hack on the other one because it could have one-shot it. But it doesn't matter.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
It's a very
This
rewarding
expedition at
experience.
least promises
Definitely
success.
worth having. Okay, there was a room battle down here, so we did need to come this way. And this is quite a room battle. This is a tough group of enemies to crack. Okay, that's one of the artilleries that will be gone. Let's slice off on the other one. This is part of a larger plan. Now I just need the flagellant to get a turn. Unfortunately, he's slower than the artillery. And slower than the scratcher as well. I mean, I'm sure, I don't know. You know, I almost wonder if he did that on purpose. Like, oh, I'm too slow to to outspeed the enemy. They're just going to have to attack me several times. You know, that does sound like something a flagellant would do. Now, I have Rain of Sorrows to get rid of the enemy's entire backline. We just have to deal with one person being marked. Punish the scratcher. Slice off on the one that isn't about to die of its own accord. And let's just go ahead and Wicked Hack the Dasher to get rid of it. And into the Vestal. Let's heal the marked guy. Can't let him take too much damage, as much as he would appreciate it. And gonna have to hack the scratcher.
As victories
Okay,
mount,
so we still need to get to
so
at least
too
one
will
more
resistance.
There's clearly at least one more room battle somewhere.
As the light
here.
gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
And we found left luggage. May as well eat the food that we found. God damn it, Roger.
A handsome reward for a task well performed.
I really do need to get the Jester fixed. He appears to be malfunctioning.
Watch your step.
Okay. And this might be our last room. But it isn't. We actually have to go everywhere on this map in order to find all the room battles. Well, I say that, but you see, well, take a moment to appreciate my ability to complain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rooms. Oh, we have to go everywhere on this map. Yes, we had to go to all of the 6 rooms in order to complete the mission. Just never underestimate my ability to quibble.
Victim to the spreading corruption. Malformed with misintent.
Okay, it's another one of these compositions. Same strategy as before. Well, I was going to use the same strategy as before, and then I forgot that the Jester can't hit position 4. Oops. Okay, in that case, let's just slice off the Scratcher. And the Vestal only has the ability to do one thing. Fortunately, she's quite good at it. And since nobody's marked, all I can do is groping swipe. Now somebody's marked. Instead, though, I'm going to have to go for Punish. And Iron Swan on the artillery, and we get a high roll. Alright, slice off the Scratcher, and that should be the end of the Scratcher. It is. In fact, I didn't even need the extra bleed damage. It was already bleeding for 7 before I did it. Flagellant is going to need some stress treatment, though. Well, in the meantime, I'll punish the Dasher. See if here's hoping the Jester goes first. He doesn't, but I can hack away the corpse. Punish might not kill. Nope, no luck. I was hoping I would get a chance to use Inspiring Tune on the
these nightmarish creatures can be felled.
On the Flagellant, but instead he'll just have to get normal stress treatment. And we found valuables inside the Traveler's tent. Okay, quest completed. Congratulations on the completion of your first mission, people.
But one that must be fought.
It won't get you that much experience, but it'll get you something. And a cool 10,000 gold, much of which is because we fought the Collector. Not exactly the most conventional first mission ever, but it's what they got. And yeah, equipping the Ancestor's Portrait caused him to get a bunch of extra stress and 1 additional resolve experience. And we have a whole bunch of negative quirks. And we need some stress treatment.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Wait a minute. The Shrieker can steal your trinkets that you... The Shrieker can... What did we lose? Okay, let's see if... Okay, the really important stuff does all appear to still be here, so... We will probably need to go after it again at some point, but I think we mostly lost common trinkets. I'm not even noticing anything specific that's missing. The important stuff like the Crimson Court trinkets and the Crimson Court trinkets, the Worry Stones, and the heads are all still here along with the Ancestor's Portrait. Okay. Let's see. probably upgrade the penance hall, especially since the upgrade reduces the treatment cost. So let's trade away deeds for busts. I need 19 busts. Okay, I can get 14. I can get 10 from trading away 15 deeds. And 2 portraits will give me 3. So now I need to just trade some crests to get up to 6. Okay. And I can upgrade the penance hall. Alright, and now let's make use of our newly upgraded penance hall. Castilian, you're up. The penance hall matters a lot more because of the fact that flagellants can only use the penance hall to reduce stress. Right. Judgment, dazzling light, divine comfort, and let's upgrade those. I don't have the trinkets to support using the battle vestal, and the profane scroll isn't for sale here. Okay. So the next question is, we've already seen that everybody's fully upgraded vis-a-vis equipment, so let's look into upgrading skills and then camping skills to burn off some of this extra gold. Roz could use some work. Partially because, well, I have some plans for her. Roz is going to be visiting the Darkest Dungeon in a few weeks. Okay, and we're out of money again. Well, the low-level people got a mission. Now it's time for the mid-level people to get a mission. Let's see. I definitely want Grulart to get some experience. Just provisionally select a mid-level mission. So, Grulart, Corbett or Tardif, Altard, and Mortag. Right. And so the Formless Flesh is the boss that's available. But what heroes could I bring to go after the Flesh? Let's see. So I don't have a single champion level Jester or Houndmaster, which are the classes that really are powerful against the Flesh. So, because I'm thinking about doing this and then going after the Flesh in the next mission, but the issue is I don't really have a good team to go after the Flesh. So fresh air in the tunnels isn't really likely to be that useful. By comparison, the boss that might be the best to go after would probably be the crew. So instead, I'm going to go for the exploration mission and get the Rampart Shield, because I don't believe I have one of those, and it is quite good. Yeah, I do not have a Rampart Shield, and that could actually be very useful if I had one. So, for now, we're going to go on this mission. I should make sure and equip trinkets first, shouldn't I? I believe I already unequipped and sorted. Alright, so... yeah, I'll give the Occultist the blood... actually, no, the Occultist is the main healer. He gets, I'll give him, actually, the Ancestor's Scroll and a Worry Stone. The Jester, I'll give him a Worry Stone and the Tyrant's Tasting Cup, which I just scrolled past. Right. And this Flagellant gets the full Flagellant set. Actually, you know what? Instead of the Tyrant's Tasting Cup, he gets the Ancestor... this... Altard gets the Ancestor's Portrait. And once I've outfitted the Master Bounty Hunter, Grulart, with the Crime Lord's Molars and the Vengeful Kill list, I've changed my mind. We're going after the... We're going to get fresh air in the tunnels, and I'm just going to hope that Altard is high enough level to take on the flesh next week. His stress is going to need to be managed, but he has a worry stone which completely cancels out the extra stress, so this should work. Let's find out why I'm wrong. Plenty of food. Don't need that much food because the Warrens, we can get food using medicinal herbs. Actually, 3 is fine. Plenty of anti-venom and bandages. A couple of keys. Do not forget the torches. And there is actually a use for holy water here. Okay, and shovels, too. I knew I'd forgotten something. I just, ironically, couldn't remember what it was that I had forgotten. Okay, let's get some fresh air down in these tunnels. If you live for risk and darkness, by all means, bring few torches.
The swine draw power from their horrid markings and crude idols. Tear them down.
This is gonna be a bit of a thing. Go for harvest, because that can actually reach the warrior, and if I can inflict bleeding on him, all the better. Not really a lot Grulart can do this time. May as well mark for death on the madman. Doesn't do much, but it does something. Weakening curse on the spawn. I really just need to wait for the invisibility to wear off. But Rain of Sorrows is the back line. Maybe I should have just pulled the madman.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Actually, I want to pull him forward now.
The horror.
Well, sort of. How long until their stealth goes off? One more round. Stealth is gone. Okay, I hope the Jester goes first. He doesn't. There's what he's bringing sorrows. It won't kill. I hope the Jester goes soon. He does. Perfect. Alright, now I can use Harvest, and this will get rid of the other Gorer. Okay, we just have the one Gorer to activate.
And improvement.
Not really much for Grulart to do, but I may just have him marked for death again, even though it does almost nothing. And Weird Reconstruction. Okay, the stealth is finally done. Good.
Slowly. Gently. This is how a life is taken.
Collect bounty. Ha! And Grulart's just impatient. He finally gets to do something, and oh, does he do it.
Horrors. Brought low and driven into the mud.
And the crescendo box. I'm gonna hold on to that. It's actually a new trinket. You don't usually find new, never-before-seen trinkets this far into the game. And we've already had our first quest location. Really gonna need some scouting, otherwise we're gonna be here for a long time. I am gonna try to save the firewood for right at the end so that I can de-stress the, the Jester, because I'm gonna need him for the next mission. Okay, vulnerability hex. And Rain of Sorrows, because you're the only one who can do anything to the enemy's back line. Wait, that's not even true. Well, Harvest then. But now the large corpse eater is bleeding and marked, and I do increase damage and crit versus both marked and bleeding. This is about to be very... Alright, this corpse eater is about to be in a lot of pain. Like 29 damage worth of pain. Actually, I'm going to go for Punish this time. Actually, I should have gone for Rain of Sorrows. I went with Punish, should have gone with Rain. But I can reach the chance of the Slice off. And let's just go for Weird Reconstruction. I really need to use Inspiring Tune on this Bounty Hunter, though. I'll collect Bounty for another nice big kill.
Perhaps the turning point.
Mark for death on the corpse. We can't be inflicting damage yet because I'm hoping the Jester goes before the cultist. Punish. Critical punish. Perfect. I can use Inspiring Tune. The stress skills aren't boosted, but removing 11 stress and reducing stress intake, that's plenty.
A death by inches.
Ah, and I actually have a use for the holy water. Oh, I meant to light it. I have no idea how to handle this interface, apparently. I meant to light a torch to produce light. And I screwed it up badly. And our first Swinotar. Fortunately, this is a team composition that's actually pretty good at dealing with that. Vulnerability Hex. Be nice to reduce his protection, but for now I'll settle for marking him. Put some nice big bleeding damage to the Jester. And it is not stunned, but it is both marked and bleeding. And even so, I only do that. Well, a couple more hits and it'll be gone. Unfortunately, because of Trot Retreat, it has the ability to fall back far enough to be out of reach for the bounty hunter. And it's doing so. Okay, it has 34 hit points and it's... But...
A singular strike.
Okay, even with a critical, I didn't manage to move it. It was worth a try, though. Except, it may not have been worth a try, because I didn't bother to check the move chance, but with 120% move resistance, there's a very real possibility that that had no chance of ever succeeding. It's bleeding for 12.
Wow.
Bleeding for 16. No, it gets to use Pig Spear. Either Pig Spear or Boar Rush, whichever it chooses. Well, let's get rid of the spawn.
Press disadvantage. Give them no quarter.
I was hoping to actually do enough damage that it wouldn't get a turn, and I have not succeeded at that. What is it with flagellants taking damage this episode? The enemy just always seems to focus on the flagellant. I mean, I'm sure the flagellants don't mind. Maybe is that what it is? Did the flagellants just like slip the enemy a couple of bucks to focus on them so they can get some of that lovely pain and bleeding that they like so much? You know, we're in a good enough situation. I can afford to use another Inspiring Tune. Also, I said that I needed Altard's stress to remain low, so his stress has decided to stay put at 0 for the entire mission so far. Which is good, that's what I need.
Monstrous
Okay, that's the end of the
size has no
Swinotar.
intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
And collect venom.
As victories mount,
Okay, and we have
so
scouting
too
now.
will resistance.
That's a quest location, that's a curio, that's a curio, that's a curio, and that's a curio. But so these two side passages don't have a quest location, and this room does, so we are going this way. Disarm the trap, and all of the stress levels are low now. Okay, and the occultist is bloodthirsty. I mean, did anyone think he wasn't bloodthirsty before? Like, well, I suppose if that's what not bloodthirsty looks like, maybe we should be concerned. It's sort of like, it is kind of funny, it's sort of like getting the quirk where an occultist is driven to explore the arcane. It's kind of funny to get that because the occultist's whole backstory is that he's driven to explore the arcane. Okay, move that over the not very useful curio. Alright. Man of Sorrows is a good place to start here. Unfortunately, the enemy's backline isn't that durable. Mark the Reaver for death, and please let the Jester go next. That's unfortunate. I was hoping I could also make the Reaver bleed, but this will be enough. but I still can use Harvest, so the Reaver is bleeding now. And one more Rain of Sorrows, and that's the end for both the Drummer and the Spawn. Then the Spawn knows it and is trying to get rid of the Flagellant before he has a chance to do that. Alright, Corbett, punish them for that distraction.
A decisive pummeling.
Thank you. Your reconstruction.
The slow death.
Okay, that's 2 of them essentially dealt
Unforeseen.
with.
Unforgiving.
3 of them dealt with. That just leaves the Corpse Eater. Which the Jester can't even hit, so I have a chance to use Inspiring Tune and reduce the stress levels. Punish the Corpse Eater. I don't know what it did, but punish it. And I guess we used up all the good Weird Reconstruction numbers earlier. And I may as well have Altard use Inspiring Tune on himself, because I can't let his stress get too high.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
And victory. And we found the last quest location already.
Such blockages are unsurprising. These tunnels predate even the earliest settlers.
And the sack is empty. Okay, we are at least going to have to fight for the last quest location. I'm a little surprised they essentially gave us one of the quest locations for free. Alright. Rain of Sorrows. Fairly big damage for Rain of Sorrows, too. Harvest.
A powerful blow.
Vulnerability Hex. And let's see what the combo can do to the Bloodletter. It took a critical to do it, but we got a one-shot. May as well just use Reclaim, actually. And Weird Reconstruction. And, nope, I guess we weren't quite out of the good Weird Reconstruction numbers. But we are going to have to tolerate Blanket Fire for a moment. And now it's time for some payback.
Decimated.
And yet another critical. Alright. And I'll have the Jester use Inspiring Tune. Actually, I may as well use it on the Flagellant. Because as soon as the mission is over...
falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Okay, that's the last shrine. But, yep, we're going to make camp and reduce the stress levels all the way to 0.
Circle in the dark. The battle may yet be won.
And... I'll tolerate the +7 stress. And, you know what? I'm actually going to use Mockery on the Occultist, because I won't need him for the next mission. Oh, that doesn't reduce the Jester's stress. Well, anyway. There's really nothing else to do, but... Might as well give somebody a pep talk to use up the rest of the time units, and let's rest.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted.
And mission complete. 6,700 gold from the mission itself.
Robbed of their writings, the swine will grow ever more ignorant.
Plus a
If
little
such a
bit.
thing were possible.
Plus a decent amount of loot, but not a terribly impressive amount of loot, and a few heirlooms, but not many. More importantly, Grulart and Altard are now champion level. And we have access to the fresh air in the tunnels.
The twisting tunnels no longer exhale the toxic stench of degeneracy.
Do I already have a champion level bounty hunter? Sort by level. No, Grulart is the only champion level bounty hunter that we have. So... may gonna have to quick upgrade him and Altard because they're both going on the next mission. Which means I'm gonna have to sell some things. Fortunately, I have some trinkets I do not need. In particular, duplicates. I need to sell one more trinket just to have enough money to fund the operation. I'll sell the duplicate Vengeful Greaves. Okay. And once more onto the breach. Alright, Conter goes on this one. Oh, I got the Pagan Talisman for completing this. But the other thing I get is the Flesh's Heart, which is pretty useful anyway. Okay, so who to bring as our fourth team member? It needs to be someone who can operate effectively in position 2. So, honestly, I'm going to bring Foliot. I'm going to bring our Abomination. Alright. Equip all trinkets. Sort by class. The Vestal is the main healer, so she gets the Ancestor's Scroll and a Worry Stone. For the Jester, his main job is to inflict bleeding. Do I actually have any trinkets that boost bleeding? I'm not sure that I do. The critical dice can be good. And the Bright Tambourine. Actually, let's go with that combo. The Abomination, of course, gets the Osmond Chains and the Shameful Shroud. He should be in position... Can the Abomination use... No, Manacles and Beast Bile require the Abomination to be in position 2. So he's in position 2, and then when he transforms, I can have him use Slam to move into position 1. And, of course, you get the Crime Lord's Molars and the Vengeful Kill list. Because this is actually... That combo is going to be incredibly powerful against the Flesh. Okay. Taking a bit of a risk doing this, but I think we'll manage it. Some medicinal herbs, some shovels, plenty of anti-venom and bandages because the Flesh likes to use both. And... okay, I think this is a viable team. Let's see if we survive this.
The spasmodically squirming, braying, and snorting half-corpses were heaped each upon the other until at last I was rid of them. The warrens had become a landfill of snout and hoof, gristle and bone, a mountainous, twitching mass of misshapen flesh fusing itself together in the darkness.
Well, that's
the thing is more terrible than I can describe. An incoherent jumble of organ, sinew, and bone.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I've located the boss, though. It's got to be in this corner. So let's go after this treasure. I'm not prioritizing treasure, I'm prioritizing victory. But we can go after treasure as needed. And we have two people who have survived the ravages of the darkest dungeon.
Spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
So this is a pretty strong team. Manacles. Start by stunning the Flesh Eater. Well, attempting to stun the Flesh Eater. Alright, now we make it bleed. And since it is neither bleeding nor stunned, I may as well mark it for death. Since I need some kind of extra damage. Let's try stunning it again. Oh, we got the stun eventually, and it wore off immediately. Yeah, the downside to this team composition that I genuinely didn't think about until a second ago is the fact that only the bounty hunter himself has the ability to mark targets. Wait, 115% stun resistance. I didn't realize that.
Precision and power.
Even so, we're dishing out a lot of damage. And the thing is, the extra damage versus marked versus bleeding targets does kind of make up for not necessarily being able to mark targets properly. But the Flesh Eater is still marked. I'm sure we're going to give the Beast's Bile to get a bit of damage over time. Harvest. More damage over time. And it just keeps resisting everything. But it's marked and it's bleeding, so we get plus 40% damage independent of the extra damage from Collect Bounty. And a boosted critical chance.
Falls.
Called your bluff, friend. Grace.
Vigor is restored.
But yeah, the advantage of the bounty hunter, Crimson Court trinkets is you don't actually have to mark targets anywhere near as much to get extra damage, though marking them is extremely valuable. Get everybody back to full health so we can end this fight with full health and no stress. And there we go.
The greater the glory.
We actually ended that fight with everyone at full health and 0 stress. That is how we do it. And the blood can stay behind because no one has the Crimson Curse. Right. Okay, the Jester has an 80% trap disarm chance. I'll let him have it. And he still managed to fail.
Mechanical hazards possessed by evil intent.
And the pack's contents are mine! Oh, mine! Right. One more room over, and then we make camp. Get ourselves good and ready for this mission. Depending on how well we do, I may come back to this treasure, but I need to do it. The priority is defeating the boss. Okay. Make camp. We may as well feast because we have an
Circle
excess
in the
of
dark.
food.
The battle may yet be won.
Okay, Tiger's Eye on the Bounty Hunter. Sanctuary to prevent ambush. This is how we do it for a further boost to critical. And I may as well use Prey to get the bonus to protection and to reduce all the stress levels to actually 0. Okay.
In Radiance, may
We're going
we
into this
find
about as
victory.
prepared as we can be. It's gonna turn out that the flesh was over here the entire time, wasn't it?
Mind that such missteps are the exception, and not the rule.
Okay, let's see if we can pull this off.
Squirming,
Okay, it is the flesh.
contorting, and ever expanding. This horror must be unmade.
Ooh, that did a lot of damage for being a damage over time ability. Alright, Harvest does more damage in total as long as it makes both targets bleed, which it usually will. Okay. Beast Bile does... Yeah, Beast Bile is actually more damaging than any of the Abomination's abilities when he's transformed. At least against the flesh specifically. So I can also have the Abomination use Transform as a way of healing himself. Alright, mark the one in the middle for death. I believe it's only when... I believe it's only when the specific target gets an action that its marked status decreases. So, collect bounty. Unfortunately, it has 73% protection, so that's not going to do a lot of good. At least not this time. Sticking with Harvest. Just focus on accumulating damage over time. And Sanguine Stroke, fortunately, doesn't grant very much healing. But then again, Sanguine Stroke isn't really there. Sanguine Stroke isn't really there to undo damage. It's there just to mitigate incoming damage. Its ability to heal itself a little bit at a time just serves to make it tankier than it already is. Though 204 max hit points isn't actually that much for a champion level boss. Oh, perfect. So the body part with 0 protection is bleeding and marked. Well, it's not marked anymore. It's still bleeding, though. So, collect bounty. Yeah, the bounty hunter hasn't really been impressing very much. He was not really the best choice for this mission. In hindsight, I probably should have brought a leper instead. He has been doing enough, though. Still Divine Grace for now. And Bone Zephyr failed once. Will it fail again? It will fail even more. Okay, and it shapeshifts again. And the boss continues to use Sanguine Stroke. Okay, the flesh is pure Eldritch, I believe. Sanguine Stroke is kind of a trade-off, because on the one hand, it means that the boss cannot if one of the boss's actions is not attacking you. On the other hand, it means the boss is healing itself. Ow. Okay, fortunately, we've had really good luck with stuns.
On the brink, facing the abyss.
One last throw of the dice. Alright, bandage, and which one will take more damage? Well, let's go with let's go with this one because you have at least a high critical. To do 5 damage with a critical. Very impressive. Beat 5. Just keep poisoning. Get the bounty hunter off the death's door, please. And it shapeshifts again. Continuing to harvest. Okay, unfortunately, that was a big Sanguine Stroke. Let's see if we can cancel it out. Grulard finally comes through. The critical we needed.
A powerful blow.
It's done next turn. The question is, how many actions does it get before it dies?
Reeling. About to break.
1.
Its destruction is a small consolation, given the implications of its terrible existence.
Okay, we already have someone at death's door, and we already used the firewood. I'm gonna treat that chest as lost and just be happy that everyone survived with minimal stress. And we get the Pagan Talisman, which is not really going to be useful at all. So I suppose the minus 10% stress is somewhat useful, but a Worry Stone would be better. And it boosts damage dealt to the Fanatic, who we aren't going to be fighting anymore. But 2 more people are level 6 now. And Foliot has a disease.
Curiosity, interest, and obsession. Mile markers on my road to damnation.
Okay, so we've already had 3 missions with heroes of 3 different experience levels, and we've defeated a boss. But we're less than an hour into this episode, so I'm going to do at least 1 more mission. I just haven't decided what it is yet. Could try to upgrade the Abbey, but I need, let's see. Do I have enough, how many crests do I need to upgrade the Penance Hall? So I don't think I can trade for enough busts to do that. I'm just going to wait 1 more mission before I upgrade anything. In the meantime, let's see if anybody is... Let's see if a few people are ready to receive some training. Mostly the low-level people. Now I just have to go through the process of scrolling through everybody to see who's missing what. Looks like, okay, Kumin is ready for her last allotment of skills. Gale is already maxed out. Alright, in that case, let's learn some camping skills. Because I keep coming up with lacking some of those that I really need. Let's see, Roz is good. I really should start with the bottom when it comes to learning camping skills, because it's usually the inexperienced people that lack the important ones. Okay, and lo and behold, we're out of money again. So, what to do? Let's see. The ruins, I still haven't completed clearing the path to the boss in the ruins. And I have a team of noobs who could use some experience anyway. So, we're going to go for another apprentice level mission in the ruins. And this time, Noyes gets the, in addition to... I'll go with the Sacred Scroll because it reduces stress, because Noyes is going to be the one using the Ancestor's Portrait this time. And Roger gets the Tasting Cup because he's going to be the one handling the stress skills, and alongside it, gets the, I forgot to unequip all trinkets. Let me just do that. Because I was going to give him the Bright Tambourine. Bright Tambourine, and the Tyrant's Tasting Cup. And Vestal gets the Sacred Scroll and the, Portrait. The downside of the Sacred Scroll is it reduces her damage and stun chance, but... so it greatly reduces the utility of both Judgment and Dazzling Light. But, in this case, it's worth it because it negates the extra stress from the portrait. Of course, I don't know that any of these noobs are actually going to make it to the Darkest Dungeon, but there's a very real possibility that they will, so I want to make sure that they get some experience first. And I need to make progress towards the next boss in the ruins anyway. 16 food should be enough. A handful of shovels, a little anti-venom, and some bandages. I think it's possible to need those. A couple of keys, some torches, and a little holy water. Okay. Let's see what we've got this time. Now, skeletons with high prot are susceptible to blight attacks. Unfortunately, this team doesn't have any.
Pace out the halls of your lineage once familiar. Now, foreign.
This is the one room I'm skipping because it's so out of the way, unless I discover there's something valuable in it. It's going to be a bit of a hike before we encounter anything anyway. Yep, just a trap and then no reward for getting past the trap. And the Altar of Light. What buff does this give again? Plus 30% damage. Definitely something I want the Hellion to have. I figured it was a damage boost. And, yep. Just gotta carefully inspect the nothing. This is just... It feels like after throwing a decent amount of enemies... Oh, there is actually a use for medicinal herbs in this area. It's for the Iron Maidens, I forgot. But after throwing a fairly tough engagement and the... and the Collector at this team on their first mission, it feels like the game has decided to go easy on them a little bit now. Considering the fact that we just passed the halfway point of this mission
a blazing star is born.
And we haven't had a single room battle yet. We haven't had a single battle of any kind yet. I mean, there are enemies around here, right? Like, there've got to be enemies somewhere. Still nothing. Are there just no enemies in this entire... Oh, okay, here we go. We have some basic skeletons.
Ringing ears.
And the first attack the enemy gets off is a critical. And I forgot to re-equip the Vestal's abilities. I made sure and learned additional abilities, but I didn't equip them.
Executed with impunity.
Slice off on the one in the back. It won't bleed, but that doesn't matter. And Brain of Sorrows. Really, a team this dependent on inflicting bleeding is not exactly ideal for this location, but it's the only novice mission we have, so we're going to have to make do. And, I mean, I have the flagellant's ability to reduce enemy bleed resistance.
Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
But it sometimes resists the effect. It is possible to make skeletons bleed, it just is very, very difficult. But it doesn't matter, they're dead anyway.
Surges as the enemy crumbles.
Okay, now the Vestal at least has the right abilities equipped. It only took one battle for things to start going wrong. Oh, that's... Ah! That's not what I meant to do. And now we're running low on torches because I am an idiot. Okay, more violence. Yeah, I may as well just go for battle ballad, at least initially. And we can hack on the bone soldiers to get rid of him. Dazzle the defender. Should be very easy to stun at this level. And yeah, they resist the bleeding, but they don't resist the debuff. Continue battle ballad, which is critical to be helpful in this area. Though I need to inflict the debuff, and that is why criticals will be useful. And judgment, and yet another critical. And punish. Okay, just a little more damage and we'll be rid of that one. His bleed resistance is down to only 154. That's the thing about the flagellant. He goes all in on inflicting bleeding. All of his abilities rely pretty heavily on bleeding as their way of inflicting more damage, but they also have a debuff that reduces the enemy's bleeding resistance. And so if you reduce the enemy's bleeding resistance enough...
These nightmarish creatures can be
try holy water on
they
the
can be
sarcophagus.
beaten.
That didn't do anything. Now let's just open it and find heirlooms. Okay, one more room. Hack a soldier.
Another one falls.
Wait, yeah, the critical boost from the critical accuracy and speed boost from Battle Ballad haven't worn off yet. The fights happen right next to each other. Still need one more hit on the Courtier for him to die. Ow.
Mortality clarified in a single strike.
Alright, get some big healing on that. I mean, it's a novice Vestal, so there's not a lot of... even her best healing isn't going to be that big. Vimp in the night. And go ahead and wicked hack the cord here. Stick with Battle Ballad. Yeah, unfortunately the Flagellant has contributed very little in this mission. I suppose I could have him be using Reclaim and just be basically just an off healer. But this is like I said, the game gives me the novices that it gives me, and I just have to make do. And since there's only one mission these people are even allowed to go on, I just have to try to make it work. Okay, so a little more damage and that one's gone, so let's use Harvest for that.
Continue the
and now we just have to deal with the Bone Rabble.
Them all.
Where was that critical last turn, Castalion?
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
Salvage the unburned torch. Light it up immediately.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Okay, so the enemies were all just hiding over in this area. Alright. Get rid of the soldier.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Buff the party's critical rate. And heal the flagellant. I'm gonna let the flagellant handle the bone rabble because I think even he is capable of managing that. I mean, it'll take him 2 turns, but I think he's capable of doing it. Iron Swan. Would have really appreciated if that had done 2 more damage. And may as well go for Slice Off and start wearing down the last Aura Blast. Punish? Okay, we're rid of the Bone Rabble.
Maintain
And Judgment for one of the Aura Blasts, and that just leaves 1 Bone Aura Blast left to get rid of. And Slice Off can do, but it won't. Close, but no cigar. Right. Well, Dazzling can finish the job.
This expedition at least promises success.
Yes, it does. And only 1 hero actually needs stress treatment.
The shifted corridors and sloped walls of our ancestry are beginning to feel familiar.
We at least made back our investment on that mission, plus the experience for the noobs. And none of them has actually leveled up, which is actually kind of good, because once any of them does, I won't be able to, once Hale, or however you pronounce that name, levels up once more, I won't be able to send her on these missions anymore. So I'm not. I need to get what I need is for the next mission that this team goes on to be at least a medium-length mission, if not a long mission, and then that way everyone will at least make it up to level 2, and then I can start sending them on intermediate difficulty missions.
I remember days when the sun shone and laughter could be heard from the tavern.
Okay, Grulart. I forgot. Grulart is antsy. That means his stress goes up every time he's idle. How much would it cost to get rid of that? A lot. I think I might actually use him for the next mission, though, so I'm gonna instead sort everyone by level, and I'm actually going to hold on to the gold that I have for now, with the exception of treating the Vestal's stress. First, I need 23 busts. I have 5. So 23 minus 5 is 18. So I'm going to max out the cloister.
A man in a robe,
in it.
claiming communion with the divine. Madness.
But otherwise, I'm actually going to hold on to my gold, because in spite of everything that we've done, I want to do a little bit more this episode. Because, I mean, we just barely passed the 1 hour mark. I've just been moving through these missions really quickly. I'm going to take on the drowned crew. And so, part of the reason for this is because we've gone to, wait a second. Defeat the, there's another, There's more to the Crimson Court. I thought defeating the Countess was the end of the Crimson Court, but there's another boss there. I didn't realize that. But for now, instead, excluding the DLC areas and the Darkest Dungeon, we have gone to every location in the manor except the Cove. So I want to send some people to the Cove. And what we're going to have them do is they're going to take on the final form of the crew. I'm sending Roz, Gale, Grulart, and one other person. That other person will be Petramol. The other purpose of this is to get Roz up to level 6, because I'm going to need her for one of the Darkest Dungeon runs later. So, I'm going to equip all trinkets and sort. Roz gets the bedtime story and the childhood treasure. Gale, being the main healer, gets the Ancestor's Scroll and a Worry Stone. Actually, you know what? I've changed my mind. I'm gonna go after the Garden Guardian and see what that is. Because I've never done that before. I've already completed one boss that's from the main game. I'm gonna go after a boss from the DLC, too. Though, actually, let me think about this for a second. I literally do not have a single man-at-arms in this entire operation. And none of my plans for taking on the Darkest Dungeon will require a man-at-arms. I'm actually not going to go after the Fallen Guardian yet, because I would get a man-at-arms specific trinket that I'll probably never use. Instead, I'll do that mission, but I'll do it next week in universe and possibly also in real life, and hope that I'll get a better trinket for it. Okay, so flash fire gunpowder for the you can use pistol shot in position 2, yes, for the highwayman, and then alongside that he gets a steady bracer to boost the accuracy of his ranged skills. And Grulart, of course, will be using the Crime Lord's Molars and the Vengeful Kill list. Okay, let's go kill the drowned crew. Need plenty of provisions. Right. Plenty of shovels, a little anti-venom, plenty of bandages because of those octocestises, some keys, and medicinal herbs, that's what those are called. I'm not even bothering with holy water. I know there are holy water interactions, but I almost always end up dropping the holy water. So, anyway, let's go kill the sunken crew.
While the greedy dogs slept off their revelry, I hexed their anchor with every twisted incantation I could muster, imbuing it with the weight of my ambition and my contempt for their crude extortion. At the witching hour, the anchor pulled with preternatural force, dragging craft and crew down into the depths. They must have cried out, but no sound escaped the swirling black waters.
Well, that's horrifying.
The poor devils, chained and drowning for eternity.
I guess this is why when you're employed by a sorcerer, do not attempt to double-cross the sorcerer. I will say, I like the fact that in this playthrough, I've saved some of the boss runs
of safety
until after we've completed until after we've been through the Darkest Dungeon, because it gives the Darkest Dungeon veterans more to do. They are still kind of training the less experienced people, because I'm bringing everyone except only Petramol has actually been to the Darkest Dungeon before, though Grulart is already a champion. But they are still training up the next generation of heroes that will be fed into the Darkest Dungeon. But there's also actual objectives for them to accomplish, so they don't just end up being kind of permanently benched. Okay, and it's time for some fish. Start with Sniper's Mark on, well, really the Pelagie Piranha is the only viable target. And I guess I have to go straight to Collect Bounty. But it did plenty. Alright, finish it off with Great Shot Blast and wear the others down.
Give them no quarter.
And dazzle one of the champions.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
Okay, that's an odd use of Barnacle Barrier, but I can turn it to my advantage. Though the protection boost is a bit of a problem. Start with Open Vein, bleeding. Follow that up with Sniper's Mark. And now collect bounty on the one in the front, which will transpose to the one in the back, and in spite of all the damage boosts, deal 8 damage, because 75% protection is a bit of a bitch. Alright. And I may as well zap, attempt to zap the Tide Master. Yeah, this is one of those situations where blight damage would be a lot more helpful. Unfortunately, this team doesn't have any. Well, I may as well hit it with collect bounty again and do 7 this time. How about sniper shot? 4. How about pistol shot? 3. It just keeps getting worse. No, it keeps zapping. Oh, the Vestal just keeps zapping the Tide
war
Master.
can be healed, but never hidden.
And we are wearing the champion down. And you know what? Let's use Come Hither on the Tide Master for this. Bandage, and let's go for another pistol shot now that his protection is no longer elevated. And now the other one uses Barnacle Barrier. Okay, you know what? Let's just hit the Tide Master with a sniper shot and still fail to kill him. And unfortunately, the Vestal needs to stop zapping people and focus on healing for a little while. This is really making me wish I had a corpse clearing ability. Well, it doesn't matter now, at least. Okay, mark the front champion for death and reduce the protection a little bit. Gale is going to need to take a break from being the DPS hero that she really wants to be and focus on healing.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Sniper shot on the Guardian. Okay, now we just have the champion to deal with. Unfortunately, he's in a position where only one of our mark exploitation abilities can reach him. Bleeding. Okay, 14. That's better for an ability that's actually exploiting a mark. And we're just gonna have Roz focus on healing for a little while.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
Let's see if we can get this thing bleeding. See if we can get it stunned. We can't do that either. Okay, so let's just see if we can get it not alive. And we can't do that either, apparently. It is just gonna hold on. This is a determined champion. Oh, let's let Gale finish the job.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Let Gale collect another scalp.
Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
Actually going to use the medicinal herbs and the eerie coral. Removed weak grip. I was hoping it would remove antsy, but weak grip is also bad, so being rid of that is still helpful. Okay, and we have cultists. This, I think, might be our first cultist gladiator / our first gladiator type. How do you dodge Mark for death? Well, he didn't manage to dodge Sniper's Mark. Pistol shot is unlikely to one-shot, but Judgment will finish the job.
Formation is broken.
Okay, the guy who causes a whole bunch of stress is at least gone.
A dizzying blow to
Unfortunately, the guy who causes a whole bunch of bleeding is not gone. Next, we need to get rid of the champion. Bandage. And I'm trying to go straight for collect bounty because it gives extra damage to human enemies anyway. Lola.
Impressive.
And healing. And let's throw in a grape shot blast.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Grape Shot Blast will also remove one of the corpses. Sniper's Mark on the champion. Won't reduce his elevated protection, but he won't be able to keep that for very long. And Collect Bounty's damage still manages to be disappointing. We're almost through this. We've just been dealing with really tanky enemy composition this mission. Alright. Protection's down to only 50%. Can I finish him off with Judgment? No, I can't. Just alright, Gale. Just I know you want to. I know you're itching to kill something, but just.
Fever pitch of battle.
Okay, it still leaves the Piranha, and they just keep. And the Piranha just decided to undo what he just did and get back into formation. Hither, and we get the kill with Come Hither. Gotta love those chain hook kills.
Seize this momentum.
Shovel open the giant
Push
oyster.
on to the task's end.
And even more scouting. It's been really generous with scouting, even though it's really obvious where the objective is. Then again, it frequently is obvious where boss rooms are. Because they want to force... It's kind of a balancing act. They want, on the one hand, you can make the mission challenging by making it so you have to travel a large distance before you find the boss. On the other hand, you can make it challenging by making it not obvious where the boss is. But you can't ever really do both. There's Mark on the Piranha. Open vein on the Piranha. And collect bounty on the Piranha. That's one of them gone right out of the gate. Just focus on healing.
A momentary abatement.
And Gale just wants to get criticals, no matter what kind of criticals they are, whether they're healing criticals or damage criticals. I have an idea. So mark the Tide Master for death. And pistol shot still doesn't kill. Pistol shot is not the most impressive mark exploitation ability, but it and sniper shot together, that'll do it.
Unnerved, unbalanced.
Yeah, I'm certainly feeling a little unnerved and unbalanced after that critical. Fortunately, I guess it's crit for crit. They get critical damage, we get critical healing. A little more damage on the Piranha is gone. And now it's not a critical, so instead of doing 20, it only does 16. I'm not really seeing much of a difference here. Focus on healing the Highwayman. This open vein will finish the job.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
We've been facing some pretty stiff resistances. Then again, this is a champion mission. It is kind of interesting, by the way, to look back and remember when champion missions were downright terrifying. Starting with open vein. And we got the bleed. Sniper shot... Actually, sniper's mark on the stinger to reduce the dodge. And collect bounty on the thrall. That's not good. I believe a thrall will not explode on the first action after you damage it, so we still have a chance. Even so, I want to keep my risk to a minimum. Yep, going for gargling grab. So, I'm going to dazzle it, and this way it shouldn't be able to go next. It's not stunned. Wonderful. Well, okay, collect bounty hit this time. The thrall is gone. big healing on Bounty Hunter.
Decimated.
And okay, that's the end of the stinger. Now it's just one piranha all by himself. Unfortunately, it's a rather evasive piranha. Bola because it will at least do some damage. An open vein should do even more. Right. Keep healing the bounty hunter. He is a little fragile. And the piranha survives with 1 hit point because of course he does, but I'm going to take this opportunity to heal the bounty hunter again. There he goes. Okay.
Foolish horrors. Brought low and driven into the mud.
Okay, collect ourselves an unburned torch. And now we have another room battle. Okay, this is gonna be another rather tanky team composition. This mission has taken way longer than any other mission so far, and we haven't even gotten to the boss, because the thing is, the enemies in the cove are just durable. Alright. Let's mark the stinger for death. And kill it with sniper shot. Not only another critical, but another critical for exactly the same amount of damage. Alright, stun the champion so we can't use Barnacle Barrier. Attempt to stun the champion, rather. And open vein on the piranha. That should be enough that I can finish it off with collect bounty, even though it didn't, yeah, even though it didn't bleed, it still just took away enough of its hit points to make it possible. And the stealth is gone. After a sniper shot followed by pistol shot, and that should do it. That leaves us having to deal with only the champion. Of course, he's enough of a problem all by himself. Well, then again, his most damaging ability is Octocestus, which, well, I don't want to undersell it too much. It isn't that dangerous. And he resisted the protection debuff, unfortunately.
Masterfully executed.
Alright, show him what you do. What you do is 10 damage, apparently. In hindsight, maybe I should have gone for open vein so the bounty hunter would do more. Then again, considering the fact that he missed, maybe it was a good choice to just go for the damage I could get. There we go.
Decisive pummeling. A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
And the Eldritch Altar uses holy water, which we don't have any of. Okay, and that's the end of our scouting.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Actually, considering the lack of scouting, the path kinda isn't clear. Okay, since only one room isn't scouted, we know where the boss is. And maggots, because I complained about the enemies being tanky, and that means I showed weakness. And when you show weakness to Darkest Dungeon, it will come after you.
Obliterated.
Mark for death on the maggot to reduce its protection below 75%. And it failed, but at least it did mark it as a target. Start with Judgment on the Stinger. This is part of a larger plan. That should wear it down enough that I can finish it off with Sniper Shot. Judgment on the maggot, even though it will do almost nothing. And collect bounty on the maggot. It's still going to take another hit for that armored maggot to stop being alive. And apparently the same for the paralyzing stinger. Wonderful. Unfortunately, the maggots at least don't cause very much damage. They cause some, but it's manageable. Really, nothing in this enemy team is that damaging. Healing, just big healing. Right, grape shot blast. I was hoping that would get rid of one of the maggots, but it didn't. Bola will. And collect bounty on the other maggot. And even with a critical, it still doesn't kill. Okay, collect bounty, get rid of the last maggot. Okay, that leaves just the stinker. And Gale gets to do the honors. What is her kill count at by now, I wonder?
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Okay, I have no reason to hold on to the shovels. So I'll ditch those for the portrait. And there's at least no more enemies between here and the boss. And just nice final confirmation that yes, that's where the boss is. And I already ditched them. Oh no, I already used the medicinal herbs.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
Okay, room before the boss. Time to make camp and get ready.
A spark without kindling is a goal without hope.
Prevent nighttime ambush. Go for this is how we do it on the bounty hunter, and clean guns on the highwayman, and there we go.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
Okay, let's see if I can make this work with this team composition. This might be the point where my hubris finally punishes me. That punishment has been a long time coming, this episode. Oh, the trap is disarmed. And
even in death, the captain shouts his orders, and the crew obeys.
We have an anchorman. Alright, mark the crew for death. And sniper shot. Oh! And see if we can dazzle the anchorman, because every turn he doesn't get to grab one of us is good. And pistol shot. And we've already taken out about a quarter of the crew's maximum health. That is good. But now we need to focus on the anchorman for a minute. Collect bounty for 8 to 16, or possibly 0. Okay, this is a bit of a problem with how rapidly it's healing. And I can't reach the, okay, I can reach with Bola, and that will also very slightly push against the healing, but not very much. Right, open vein. Open vein also won't kill. It's honestly kind of infuriating just to watch it gradually heal. Okay, can Judgment get the kill? No, it can't. Let's see if stunning the enemy,
quakes.
Okay, stunning doesn't cause him to break free, so it's not like undoing a defended status. And now the crew is almost back up to full health. All because Collect Bounty missed the first time.
A brilliant confluence of skill and purpose.
And that dodge debuff is also going to be helpful. we're going for boarding clutch. I mean, we've made 3 hit points worth of progress, but the good news is we can at least do damage, at least accumulate damage quickly against this thing to try to out-damage the healing. Some big healing. Well, wide healing. Healing is wide, unfortunately it isn't very deep. Okay, all hands on deck. That by itself isn't a problem. Even the repositioning is a medium-sized problem. So its bleed resistance is 100%. This has a 140% chance to bleed. I'm taking the risk. And I got it. Try to stun the anchorman. And you got it this time.
May we find victory.
But now I get even larger boosted damage and critical rate for Collect Bounty. Which is good because we need fast damage. Okay, and it can't grab this turn,
to perform beyond one's
which means we actually have a chance of finishing it off before it has the opportunity to heal again. But the problem is its healing is fast. And of course, the mutiny debuffs damage and critical rate. You can still reach it with Collect Bounty, even with the... I actually really should have just gone with Mark for Death. I still have Sniper's Mark. And pistol shot for 1526. Okay, 3/4 of its health is gone, so... I know the dragger thing can miss, but it rarely does. And this time it didn't. Collect Bounty. Collect Bounty at least didn't miss this time. Bola. Fortunately, we can't, like I said, we can cause damage really fast once we get back to being able to cause damage at all. More boarding clutch. Another boarding clutch, rather. Yeah, the problem is they regain a little bit of health every time anyone gets an action. Open vein. Please cause bleeding. Please cause bleeding. Thank you. So actually the bleeding doesn't do me a lot of good. Finish this thing off with bow. Okay, never mind. The bleeding did enough. All hands on deck again. Okay, mark for death. Resisted the debuff, but you can't resist being marked except by dodging the ability that causes the mark. Open vein. And sniper shot. Okay, he won't be... Okay, the, Highwayman won't be on death's door after the bleeding, so I'm actually gonna go for another stun because I need another round to actually take out the crew. I need another round of it not healing. Collect bounty. Sniper shot. Unfortunately, now suddenly our really good luck with damage numbers has run out. No way I'm stunning again. How much damage could Judgment do? 5 to 10 without a critical. That won't be enough. He's only bleeding for 4. And now it uses Heave 2. Succeeds in grabbing Petramol. Okay, so... Collect Bounty does 5 to 10. That's all I needed to do. Well, I need it to do more than 0. Wonderful.
Perched at the very precipice of oblivion.
Okay, open vein. Just go after the anchorman. We need to actually take out the anchorman. This is really frustrating because we were so close. We were so close to the fight being over, and then they started healing again. Please don't target the highwayman. Thank you. I need to heal him. And his resolve is tested, and he's focused.
A moment of clarity in the
No
eye
shot
of the
shall
storm.
miss the mark when I aim it. And he broke free. I needed a little bit of luck, and I got a little bit of luck.
For now.
Nice job, Petramel. That's exactly what I needed. Which, since he broke free prematurely, he stopped them from healing. Which means I have a bit more time to damage the crew. Okay, mark for death again. Mark exploitation is really not the best composition for this, but I didn't have a lot of options for the heroes available. And almost. And Gale gets to do the honors again.
They are cursed to float forever, deep in the swirling blackness, far beyond the light's reach.
How many bosses has Gale personally killed? Is that the first one, or has she done that before? Either way, I'm satisfied. 15,000 gold, 30 crests, the crew's bell, and a decent amount of loot. And some experience from the people who weren't champions yet. And 2 more people are level 6 now. And Gale... How appropriate! Gale is an Eldritch Slayer now, after having personally finished off the crew. And Roz is a Cove phobe. Considering how frustrating that fight was, I can see why she would never want to go back there. And Petramel is an Armor Tinker, which is completely useless.
Tonight, the fools make merry. Tomorrow they die laughing.
And Idle Jesters get a resolve level for free. And Noyers is apparently on vacation or something. But I have the ability to upgrade some structures, I think. Survivalist is... You know what? Nah, the Survivalist isn't maxed out, but the benefit for upgrading the Survivalist is relatively minimal. I'm going to upgrade the Brothel, actually.
All manner of diversion and dalliance await those who cross the threshold with coin in hand.
And... Grulart and Petramel both actually need stress treatment. Everyone else can wait. But... with 2 bosses down, and having made some progress on training up my next Darkest Dungeon team, this is going to be the end for this part. Thank you all for watching, I love you all, and I will see you next time.